Welcome to another exciting episode of Pathetic Man Children Complaining About Something Insignificant About a Video Game. Can you dig it? Every once in a while, it's really fun to get onto the internet, get onto Twitter, and even though I absolutely hate Twitter, I do like to get on there these days because I'm just flabbergasted at both the stupidity and entitlement that a lot of people have, especially in the gaming community. And this particular instance involves the video game that is releasing at the time of recording, literally today, A Plague Tale Requiem, a game that I am very excited for and can't wait to try. Which leads to the question, what is happening with The Plague Tale Requiem and why are people online complaining about it and saying they're not going to buy and support this game and try to convince other people to also not buy and support this game? Well, A Plague Tale Requiem is only going to be able to output at 1440p and 30 frames per second on next-gen consoles, and this is apparently where we're at now. This is the bar for demonstrating your public outcry, for showing off just how much of a man-child you are, how big of a baby you can be. And make no mistake, if you're one of these people that thinks this game should be able to output at 4K natively, 60 frames per second, and you're not getting that and that makes you this upset, two things. First of all, you're very entitled and an absolute baby. And second of all, if you care that much about graphics and performance, there is this amazing place for that. It's called PC. Go buy one. You can get a decent PC, you can build your own, you can get them these days for a very good price that could output this game at 60 frames for you. Go do that. If you're spending this much time and effort into buying a PlayStation 5 and getting the official TV and have to get an extra controller and the extra SD card, if you can afford a PlayStation 5 and get it to run the way it's supposed to be ran, you could have just bought a PC at this point. So come on, man, come on. And look, for certain video games, I can kind of understand that. For example, if you're playing Call of Duty or Overwatch, then yes, I am with you. You should absolutely expect and need those games to be at 60 frames per second because they're fast-paced and they're competitive shooters. That makes a little bit more sense. The same can be said for fighting games. You want those 60 frames per second when you're playing fighting games because it's fast-paced. Or really fast-paced action games. A Plague Tale Requiem is not any of those though. A Plague Tale Requiem is more story driven. It's more stealth action, if you will. It's more not a big deal if it's running at a stable 30 frames per second because it doesn't need to run any faster. It's not going to make you die more, whether or not you're playing this game at 30 frames, 60 frames, or 120 frames. It's just not that type of game where frame rates should matter. I'm just slightly blown away that there are these people on the internet that are promoting this narrative that this is unacceptable, that this is the hill they are going to die on. A Plague Tale Requiem and any current gen games that run at 30 frames per second is the hill they are choosing to die on. But here's the stupid thing about it is they don't even know this. They're not dying on a hill. They're just dying on the ground. They're just dying on the grass. It's a flat land. There is very little elevation here. This is just not a hill because this is just not that big of a deal for most games. This is just not that big of a deal for most people, and if this is what you're getting mad about, you need to get help. There are so many more things going on in the video game industry that are worth your time and effort to go into. Okay, 30 frames is not going to kill you, and if it makes you that upset, then fine. Don't buy the game. There are plenty of us like myself that will and will enjoy it because we know better. It's okay. Breathe. And that, my friends, concludes this Can You Diggle It episode. I really would love to know your thoughts. Are you one of those people that has to play every single game at 60 frames per second? And if that's the case, tell me what PC you got because you're clearly going to be that type of person, and that's totally fine. It's just anyways, guys. Alright, I'll see you on the next one. I'm Bradley Overrated, out like a trout. I hope you enjoyed this, and take care.